Welcome again, my friends. This is Old Tom Gin, and this is my playthrough of Fallout 4 Survival Mode, my Permadeath run. Well, I'm here in my darkened and spare little chamber, and I've been here for a while, for a very, very particular reason. Those of you who have seen previous episodes will know that I've been desperately on the look for antibiotics. Every single little med kit I find, no antibiotics. Stim packs, purified water, all kinds of, good things. Not a single antibiotic. And well, a few days ago I paid the price after returning from the super duper mart and clearing it of its ghoul population. You see I'm even moving a little slowly here. Oh, so stiff. I took a nap, and I woke up with the worst of all the diseases in survival mode, an infection. That is, by the way, a disease that actually just does damage to you over time. And I had no antibiotics and knew of no doctor within range. I mean, yes, there's an alternative. I could have just hoofed it all the way to Diamond City, or perhaps other parts that I, as a player, know about, and hoped I had enough stim packs and water and food to keep me going until I got there. But I decided to take an alternate approach, and it worked, folks. It worked, and really, in a very role-play friendly way, it was completely logical. What did I do? I stayed in bed. I stayed in bed for 4 days, and that worked. That made the difference. I was able to outlast the infection and survive. And so here I am on the other side of that difficult several days, hungry and now properly fed. But yes, it's been some time. So remember last time I said I had. If you were with us, I said, oh, it isn't even Halloween yet. Now it's past Halloween. I have spent that much time sick in bed. It is now November the 2nd, 2287. I am completely missed the Halloween holiday, which I suppose isn't disappointing. Every day's Halloween here in the wasteland. I mean, what's going to top a Deathclaw, really, for Halloween? But now we're back. We're reasonably healthy. We've also made a couple of key changes. I've finally upgraded my weaponry to the place where I want it to be. I've got the quick, powerful sniper rifle. So that's a welcome change. And we're gonna dump off a couple of unnecessary things because I got sick and I never actually put away the stuff I had laying around. I'm gonna hold on to that, of course. But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff laying around here that I don't need. Am I gonna keep the army helmet? Yes. Am I gonna keep the leather materials? No. I've actually upgraded most of my gear as far as I can and or need to. I'm gonna hold on to that army helmet because you never know when you're gonna need that little extra bit of damage resistance. And of course I'm holding on to the rest. Frag grenades, I'm probably going to store a couple here because they weigh me down. I don't actually, again, until I get a little more comfortable with explosives, I'm going to be very careful about using grenades. I haven't run into a single mine, but I suspect we're about to. And I think maybe the other thing I want to do before we depart here...
Be careful. I can fix most things, but people don't fix so easily.
I need more fusion cells. I want to make another robot repair kit because I'm going to be stuck with Codsworth for a little while until I get to the point where he has maximum affinity with me. Of course, I'm about to get a ton of fusion cells if I don't miss my guess and what I'm about to do next. And when I say when I don't miss my guess, there's always the chance that I'll change my mind or the circumstances will work in a way that I didn't expect, and I'll do something different. But
Mama Murphy's as good as her word, kid. No more chems, and no more sight either.
that's okay, Mama Murphy. That's all right. And What else do I want? Oh, there were a few things, food items I wanted to drop off here. I picked up some corn randomly from a merchant at one point. I don't really need that. And some mute fruit, don't need that either. And some razor grain, don't need that either. So, just gonna leave all these good foodstuffs here. I believe that the crew here has about all they're gonna need for the time being. So we're heading out again. I guess, once again, have still not accepted, nor will I accept Preston's offer. And while we're at it, I see that little glowy dot hanging over him. Let's fix that. We're not actually doing that anytime soon. We're focused on getting to Diamond City. I mean, you have to think about how frustrating it would be for Thomas here, searching for his son. Frustrated that he has to spend all this time gearing up just so he knows he can survive out there. Probably being terrified that he won't be able to survive and will never make it to Diamond City alive. And then he comes down with a damn fever. I mean, that's got to be incredibly frustrating. And now it's, days have passed. So he wants to get going, man. That's exactly what we're going to do. Here's a trash can Carla's Brahmin. Just hanging out. Carla's Brahmin, it takes some very strange routes to and fro, stops inexplicably, very rarely seems to be in the same place that she is exactly. It just kind of moves on. Now, of course, the knowledge that I can survive the antibiotics by sleeping it off, at least I'm pretty sure you can always do that. I have a pretty decent health in terms of my endurance. Is it possible that you're less likely to survive it if you have a lower health? If that doesn't exist, then by God, somebody should mod that and make this a little bit more. Well, it would make it tougher, but it would also make it more immersive. And of course, that's always my goal. Make it more immersive. But as far as I know, yeah, that is a way to survive antibiotics. Maybe a little frustrating, because you got to sleep constantly, and and all I did was basically you sleep 12 hours, wake up, drink and eat something, go back to bed, sleep another 12 hours. So in other words, very much like happens to most of us when we have a fever and are sick. So it actually really it was kind of neat that it worked that way. I liked it, even though it's for the character it's terribly frustrating. For me, I'm like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I would do. And again, just for the peanut gallery, I am making no claims that Fallout 4 is a realistic survival game. We're just basically we're approximating that. Just like when Star Wars or Star Trek makes a little nod to science, even though they're not really hard science fiction, it's always appreciated. It's like, oh yeah, it's just a little tip of the hat to the situation. That's all I'm trying to do here. Just I'm playing to survive, but I'm also trying to play true to what I think a character would do in this situation. So I don't think there's anything. Of course, it's been so long. Who knows? They probably have all kinds of different stuff at the Drumlin Diner. Maybe we should go check it out. And I'm being a little bit careless here because, as I said, there's sometimes there are dangerous spawns around these parts that can catch up with me and are particularly dangerous to me on survival mode. But oh yes, look at this. The gang's all here. The gang is all here. So
thanks for helping us out with Trudy. You did good. Now, let's talk business.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
I got stuff that'll blow your mind.
I'm really interested, sir, as whether you have something that's truly useful. I can take some. You can get some Psycho. You can get some Mentats. You can get some. I'll take the Tato, please. What? I'm actually not going to take the Tato. Well, yeah, I will. It's always pick a potato when you can. Potatoes are just good. They're a good crop. Mute fruits are the best in many ways because they're one food unit per plant.
Yeah? Back again? Time to do business?
Yes, here at the
Always happy
Merchant
to help
Collective
assist.
here. I will definitely do business with old Carla. Do I need? I have 82 308 rounds. I think that's probably enough for the moment. I don't think I need to buy. They are expensive. They're very expensive items. Of course, I already bought a short hunting rifle. Don't need that. A sequin dress. Well, as much as I love the sequin dress, I'm not going to buy it right now. Um, Nat's dress, which is interesting because I don't know Nat yet, so I don't know why we have Nat's dress in there. Obviously, that's just an extension of the child settlers enhancement modification, which has been installed here. And I don't think there's anything here I need. Yeah, nobody. This is, for some reason, antibiotics have become rare as chicken teeth. So we have none of them. All I'm really interested here, of course, are adhesives, and she has none of those either. I think maybe I haven't.
Need some chems?
Trudy,
If you're here to trade, let's trade.
am I
It's all worth every cap
am
I'm
I
charging.
perpetually drunk as far as Trudy's concerned? Because I seem to be using the drunk hello with Trudy. Excuse me, which while hilarious, doesn't seem quite right. It's okay. I mean, I don't seem to have the drunk effect. At least I don't think I do. Maybe we should check that just to make sure. These are always disappointing to me. Flight helmets look cool. They actually give you a bonus to perception, which is neat. They don't protect very well, so I tend not to wear them. But they look cool. Um, I would love to work up a mod with kind of uh, a flight helmet that also functions as a gas mask. I think that would be pretty cool. Because why not? Why wouldn't you have that? Um, oh, and sunglasses. Ooh, sunglasses. This I am tempted by, but I mean, I don't look cool enough. Clearly, I should get myself some sunglasses. But then again, it never makes sense because then I see them at night and I'm like that's stupid. You shouldn't be wearing those at night. Let me see. What have you got in your junk drawer? Oh, here's some. Look at that duct tape and economy wonder glue right next to it. It's basically just a search for adhesive, folks. That's all we really do here. Is just search for adhesive constantly. All right. Well, I've got what I wanted from you jamokes, and I'm back on the road. Me and Codsworth heading toward Diamond City. And yeah, as we've already seen the disadvantages. I should be a little more careful here. We don't know what's in the house. The infamous Grey House of Doom. The Grey House of Infinite Spawns. Don't see anybody. Not VATS detecting anybody. But yeah, as we've seen already, the companions really cramp your day and can kind of kill you or threaten to kill you at various times because of their ridiculously poor AI and pathfinding. Like that, for instance. What if something was trying to shoot at me or kill or charge me right now and you jumped in front of it? What would that have done? In previous Fallouts, they had the same problem, and people developed mods that would enhance the AI to keep the companions out of your line of fire. In other words, the companion would never... There was a sort of a cone in front of you, and the companion would always stay out of that cone. I don't know why that was possible in that engine and is not possible in this engine. I am not a developer. But, boy, I would sure like to see something like that. The other hairy thing that happened last time, other than the ghouls, which were pretty hairy in and of themselves, of course, was the coming out of the Super Duper Mart, we encountered and ran from some raiders who live over there, just kind of where you see beyond those trees. We can't really make it out from here. But way beyond the Super Duper Mart, there's a line of houses. And they're full of raiders. It's a little raider warren. And we,
Doing housework?
yeah, and we assiduously ran away from those guys and stayed away from them. Because they're fairly tough, there's a lot of them, and I'm low level, squishy. But at the same time, when I was running away, Codsworth came very close to running right into them, which, of course, would have put him down, which means I would have had to either heal him or abandon him. There's another mod which would be good. In survival, the way it works is... And there's a bunch of mongrels up there. I'm not terribly worried about them. Jump into the boxcar here. In survival, the way it works is if your companions don't die, because that would just be too depressing. Again, because of their horrible AI, they would just... Well, you would have no one left. They're guaranteed the companions will go down, and they would all go down. There's no way. But what they do is they basically lay down in sort of a comatose state and or a wounded state, and then if you don't heal them within a certain amount of time, you don't rescue them, quote unquote, they go back home. They go back to where they came from. Which is okay as an implementation, but... You know, could be better. Could be better. Of course, here's another set of T-45 power armor. Less put together than the one we got back at Sanctuary, but it does have a fusion core. Unfortunately, it is protected behind a fairly sophisticated lock, an advanced terminal, which I cannot open at this time. Alright, so let's deal gingerly with these here mongrels.
Sir, something's afoot. Not this time.
Alright, so they're dealt with. Oh, took his head off. Tough guy, Codsworth. Tough guy.
Well, hello there.
But what I'd like to see would be kind of an interesting thing. Would be a mod that took that to the next level. And what I mean by taking it to the next level, don't kill. I'm not saying something that kills the companions, because as we said, with their terrible AI, well, that's plot breaking for Fallout 4, because in their infinite wisdom they designed the game such that you need to go back to these companions on multiple occasions. Not all of them, but some of them, for different things. They're part of the plot. They're part of conversations. So killing them would probably be destructive to the plot. So I'm not saying that. But basically, when they go back home, all you really got to do is go back home and rehire them. There's not a word about it. There's not a word spoken. Everything's fine. All is forgiven. Just go back and pick them up again, and voila, away we go. But what if it didn't work that way? What if they, say, dropped their affinity for you, if they hadn't already reached max affinity? Because we don't want to. That would be so complicated to get into that. You lose idolization. But let's say they hadn't reached max affinity, so it creates a dislike. Maybe it does this, but it certainly doesn't make it clear if it does do that in the game. But implement that. Have them, they like you less if you don't rescue them. Maybe even to the point where they're like, there's a limitation where they're just like, hey, I'm not ready to go back out on the road with you. You left me to die, and I had to crawl back home on my own. I'm not prepared to go out here again with you. That would be a pretty logical response, don't you think? I'd like to see that. I think that would be a good mod. I keep saying these things that I want to see. Maybe I just need to make a list and learn how to mod this stuff myself. I have modded in the past, in long distance past. I have not, certainly not tried it for the PlayStation 4 enabled mods, and I have not.
Mr. Thomas.
And I have not modded even in any PC games in quite some time. But I'd be willing to go back and try it for some of these. I guess that the thing is that this is a game that came out. Oh wow, a lot more rads here than I'm used to. Oh, I guess the rads start over there. How about that? So as you see, I disabled that so I can get to this. And why am I getting to this? Why am I interested in this tool shed? Or this tool case? Take a wild guess. Adhesive, folks. It's all about the search for adhesive throughout the Commonwealth. There we go. Duct tape. What is Fallout 4 about? Well, you run around the wasteland looking for duct tape. It's not untrue. So yeah, so I don't know, that would be a neat thing. A couple neat ideas there for mods, but you know, maybe it's you know, a little late to be thinking about it for this game. I don't know. It's on top of doing this, you know, the time to mod is, I'm not sure that I have the time to commit to that, but it's an interesting thought. So here we go, south, just west of Cambridge, and look at that, we have picked up a radio signal. Fire support, military frequency AF95. Now, this is always a fascinating thing to me when you're playing the male protagonist, because how do you react to suddenly getting... I mean, he's a veteran. He's been through the war. It's possible that the female protagonist has also been through the war. It's not made abundantly clear. I know she's a lawyer, but it's not clear whether she also served. But especially for this particular character, they were in the military. They know, you know, that life, that world. And then here in this chaotic, smelly, desiccated world, they hear this.
Automated message repeated. This is Scribe Halen of Reconnaissance Squad Gladius to any unit in transmission range. Authorization ARCS, Ferrum 9-5. Our unit has sustained casualties, and we're running low on supplies. We're requesting support or evac from our position at Cambridge Police Station.
So he hears that. Now, how do you react to that? I mean, you've been in the military, right? You're used to that lifestyle. This is a world of chaos, absolute chaos. I mean, the curiosity would be overwhelming. Like, he'd want to check it out. Like, wait, there isn't... I mean, the terminology would right away make him scratch his head, maybe. Like, scribe? You know, Scribe Halen? What kind of rank is that? But he'd have to check it out. He'd have to check it out. The curiosity would be too great. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I guess there's a way to interpret the character where he wouldn't. Where he'd be like, I am done with the military. I'm not gonna get near that, whatever that is. But in most cases, you'd expect, in this chaotic environment, the idea of, hey, maybe there is an organized military of some kind here that still exists. Some kind of something that's a little bit better than, you know, this one guy with a laser musket helping some people out. Because as far as he knew up until this point, that's the world. It's just a bunch of raiders and some hamlets and this, you know, mythical Diamond City place, which is, you know, he hasn't been to yet. And a bunch of huge, disgusting monsters. And as far as Thomas knows here, that's what the world is now. As far as he knows, it's all there is. Why were they storing? Why are they storing? Who was storing a antifreeze bomb? Whatever. So this is kind of like a whoa. There's something more to the world than this. Maybe there's someone who has some authority. Maybe there's someone who can help me organize, help me find Sean. Maybe. I'm not saying it turns out that way. I'm saying that that's what you would be thinking. You would imagine, if you were him. And of course, here we are coming up on Cambridge. Thomas, you know, knowing these roads, knowing this area, knows exactly where Cambridge and the Cambridge police station is. And won't take too long for him to figure out that Cambridge is pretty much like they said. Oh, it's in a bad way. What is that over there? Oh, it's a ghoul. Now, having just experienced the Super Duper Mart, we're not going to take pot shots at that ghoul. That would be stupid. We're going to stay outside of Cambridge and move this way. Oh, and I'm being careless here, by the way. Because here's another spawn point. This bridge. This bridge is my favorite bridge in the game. It's the safest way, 9 times out of 10, to cross the river and get over to Boston proper. Of course, in the Fallout universe, for some reason, there are no suburbs out here. Don't know why this was never developed. I guess they had a park here. They decided to make this a park and never developed it for some reason. Or maybe it just got hit hard by the bombs and just everything was absolutely blown away. I suppose that's possible too in 200 years. But yeah, it's a little odd that the Beantown Brewery is still standing and fully intact then. So I assume that they just never developed it. But anyway, that area, it's a wooded area, that's generally the safest place to get back and forth. Why am I not there? There they are. So that's the other thing I need to worry about here is frag mines. So Cods, you're going to stay right here.
Just so, sir.
I need you to not advance on the frag mines, please. Now, this is super dangerous. I could die here. You see how close that one is. Now the trick to these things is to approach on one without setting off the other and approach quickly and grab them before and disarm them before they go off. It's hairy. It's hairy, folks, I won't lie. So here we go. There we go. Done. And now the other one. And that never fails to get my heart pumping. Never, ever, ever, ever fails. Those mines scare the crap out of me every single time I pick them up, and it's just great. Even more so on survival mode, of course. So there's nothing on this bridge. The thing I was mentioning before was, yeah, most of the time this bridge is clear. Every once in a while you get a spawn, and it's usually a higher level spawn or a more complicated spawn. Better top off my my stomach here. I have seen Mr. Gutsies on... Oh, damn it, I forgot to... Yeah, okay. I haven't cooked everything that I need to cook here. I'll have to get around to doing that. I've seen other encounters, the aforementioned encounters that are absolutely deadly for me in survival mode on a permadeath run, which are the sort of like, hey, let's talk, you know, you owe us the toll, and then they open fire on you at close range. Those are insta-kills, pretty much, on this mode. And so now we're going to charge into this gunfight. Well, when I say charge, I mean carefully move my way over. Wow, somebody's a terrible shot. They're shooting up there. Alright, here we are. Ghouls. We know that Thomas has no love for ghouls, so... Now, most of them seem to be coming from down here, so... Alright, we'll wait for them to come through the wood. There we go. Pseudo-vats right there. Oh, come on, buddy. Imperial Stormtrooper Marksmanship Academy at work. Oh, they're getting around him. That's not good. And Codsworth gets in the way again. I love he just wanders around here. Go. And he goes flying in ridiculous Fallout ragdoll physics. This 10 millimeter hits like a 10 meter. Is that it? That's all of them. And there's a way to end the combat with a nice car explosion. Alright, let's end this awkward staring contest.
We appreciate the assistance, civilian. But what's your business here?
I'm just trying to survive out here like everybody else.
The way you charged in and engaged those ferals, I find that a bit difficult to believe. Are you from a local settlement?
Well, I got the vault suit on, so I might as well tell him. I'm from Vault
You're a
111.
vault dweller? Most people wouldn't admit to such a thing. I appreciate your honesty. If I appear suspicious, it's because our mission
Well, I am
here
wearing the
has been
suit,
difficult.
after all.
Since the moment we arrived in the Commonwealth, we've been constantly under fire. If you want to continue pitching in, we could use an extra gun on our side.
I want to help, but I don't like the secrecy. Who are you, really?
Very well. I'm Paladin Dance, Brotherhood of Steel. Over there is Scribe Halen and Knight Reese. We're on recon duty, but I'm down a man and our supplies are running low. I've been trying to send a distress call to my superiors, but the signal's too weak to reach them.
Sir, if I may,
Proceed, Halen.
I've modified the radio tower on the roof of the police station, but I'm afraid it just isn't enough. What we need is something that will boost the signal.
Our target is ArcJet Systems, and it contains the technology we need, the deep-range transmitter. We infiltrate the facility, secure the transmitter, and bring it back here. So what do you say? You willing to lend the Brotherhood of Steel a hand?
Well, who are the Brotherhood of Steel?
Our order seeks to understand the nature of technology, its power, its meaning to us as humans, and we fight to secure that power from those who would abuse it.
Sounds like a noble cause.
I'm pleased that you agree. There are very few, outside the Brotherhood, who appreciate the gravity of the situation we're facing as a species. So, what do you say? Will you help us?
No time to waste. Let's get moving.
Outstanding.
Or more simply, yes, I will help you. Why? Because, like I said, Thomas has never, he has not, this is the first time he's seen anything resembling an organized military. Or any kind of organized faction of any kind. So, of course he's going to...
All right, civilian. It's time to prove your worth. Head into the police station and resupply yourself. Then let me know when you're ready to begin. Let's move out, people.
All right, big guy.
Look at that, military-grade duct tape. Great stuff, great stuff. And I made a level. Just for talking to a guy and killing some ghouls. This is quite pleasant. Okay, so... make sure that there's nobody out here who's going to charge me. Once in a great while, you'll get bum rushed by an extra ghoul. Another military-grade duct tape. My God. That is unheard of, folks. Unheard of at this stage of the game. That is a lot, because I've already collected some, which is sitting back back in Sanctuary. So, I mean, that's... I think I have enough for a little ballistic fiber here, if, of course, I was with the railroad, which I am not. I know there are mods that allow you to skip that requirement, but I don't know. It feels like cheating to me. I'm going to leave this guy with his fatigues, because it seems weird to take them, but I am going to squirrel away his laser rifle. Maybe even not for me, but just, you know, for settlers or for other folks. I want to make sure that we have at least one laser rifle. I might change my mind. I could be convinced that energy weapons are the way to go. I mean, especially because you get a pretty sweet energy weapon at the end of this particular
Yes, sir.
quest. But I'm not sure. It seems to me I have a little more versatility. I have better survivability with the guns. But and look at that, still no antibiotics. Now it's not so terrible now that I know how to survive them, but survive infections rather. But it's crazy. Better run into. I mean, I've got to run into some sooner or later. I'm sure that the doctors, when I get to Diamond City, there's a doctor there who will have some. I think.
I don't know. Your prognosis looks pretty grim.
Might be more
take you out back and shoot you.
You're all hard, Doc.
Just quit squirming so I can get these bandages on.
So yeah, we're in true Fallout fashion. I'm just gonna rob these guys blind. But he did say resupply, and so I guess I'm not robbing them blind. I'm just taking advantage of what the guy told me I could do. Dan said resupply in the station. I'm resupplying in the station. There's some patrolman sunglasses, which are cool, except I don't usually wear them. You know why? Here, I'll show you. This is why. Hold on. One problem with patrolman sunglasses. Well, you don't really see it here. I guess they're okay at this moment. But depending on when you talk, they clip into your cheeks, which is really kind of... He does look pretty cool in it right now. Maybe I'll leave him on for the moment.
How's security looking?
But yeah, they depending on how your face is arranged and how the facial expressions work, it clips a little bit into your face. It's not terrific. Hey, look, some razor grains somebody left behind for no reason. So again, we're going to go through the whole place here and find every little tidbit, the last tidbit that we can. Bobby pins galore. I love these little stories, like these little... So clearly here, they set up these... This is a very Fallout thing. They set up these little visual stories that, like, there's nothing in the script about them. There's no vocal, no dialogue about it. But here's a guy who was obviously a prisoner. He was handcuffed in the cell. He was given some bobby pins, or had got some bobby pins. It kind of feels like one of those, like, the cops see the bombs going off and are just like, I'm not letting this guy out. Probably he was a bad dude, but I'm gonna, at least give him something. I gotta give him the bobby pins. Like, hey man, if you can pick the lock, you can get out. And of course, he never did. He died there. Kind of grim. There's a lot of grim little sort of implied stories like that. I mean, all those places you see, like when you see the guys in the Concord Speakeasy are just like sitting around with their beers, like those are guys who saw the bombs go off and were like, well, we're screwed. Maybe people who got the full brunt of radiation poisoning, they're like, we're dying. We're just going to sit here and drink beers and wait for the inevitable. It's a fairly grim thought, I know, but that's pretty much what it is. More patrolman sunglasses and military fatigues, which are similar but not the same as army fatigues. There's something that we will be investigating sometime later, maybe. Sorta, kinda. And down here, even more duct tape. Take that blowtorch and that wonder glue and that flip lighter. So there he goes. And more. Look at this place is a gold mine. It's an absolute gold mine in terms of duct tape. So I think we've got all we need. I'm not going to pick up these gas canisters. They're just too much. Codsworth, I'm going to have you carry some of this crap for me. You see all the goodies that we collect. And that is the delightful weirdness of this game, that it gets you so excited about picking up just random crap. Store. I don't know where Codsworth stores all this stuff, by the way. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so there we are. Now, of course, it took a while to get here. We should probably take a quick rest. Take these guys' stim packs again. They said we could use it, so we're going to use it. But let's talk to this guy. I'm sure he's a tough.
Some kind of hot shot.
Well then, why are you so angry with me?
I'm not angry. I'm just letting you know where you stand. You're hired help, and that's all there is to it.
Is there any way to earn your respect?
Do what you're told. Keep your head down and your mouth shut. Now why don't you run off and see if Top needs you to do anything else?
Okay. Well, we've run into guys like that before, so that's certainly no, nothing new to Thomas. But oh look, Scribe Halen left a personal log. She's sleeping. Let's
Field Scribe Halen, personal log entry
see what she has to say.
324A. I'm starting to wonder if joining the Brotherhood of Steel was a good choice. I originally signed up seeking protection and comradeship, but I'm worried that I've traded away a bit of my humanity in the process. The Brotherhood's message of hope for the future is idealistic and noble, but their methods leave a lot to be desired. The leadership seems especially misguided. Instead of diplomacy, they wield violent confrontation to exert control. Despite all that, I've been successfully avoiding the fighting by following the career path of a field scribe. I suppose only time will tell how long I can stand the sight of spilled blood over my own moral fiber.
So there you go, little message from Scribe Halen. Well, she didn't know she was giving a message; it was her diary, but a little window into the Brotherhood that surely has to give you pause, don't you think? As you know, as our protagonist here, like, oh wait a minute, what's the violent confrontation, huh? I don't know about that. So we're gonna do a quick 3-hour nap here. And of course, this being survival mode, it's essential because that's our save. At least I feel rested. And now let's get going. Paladin
Ready to
dance.
move out?
Ready.
Outstanding. Follow me, and try not to lag behind.
I wonder what the talk around the water cooler was the day before the bombs dropped.
All right, good. He put on his helmet. Dance doesn't always actually put on his helmet for this quest, which is creates a kind of a strange situation later in the quest. But I believe I have installed the unofficial Fallout patch, which I believe it addresses a lot of things. It might address that as well as others. Mostly it's dialogue stuff, but
This alley. Follow me. Arcjet is a short hike to the west. If we take this road, we should be able to avoid the larger packs of ferals infesting Cambridge. Traveling this far from the police station is a risk. Getting that transmitter up and running needs to be our top priority. If it was up to me, I'd relocate my team. But Scribe Halen detected some disturbing energy readings in the area that need to be investigated. We don't know much about them, except that they're short-lived and broadcast on a frequency only attainable with a high level of technology. We're concerned that whoever or whatever is creating those energy readings might be a potential threat. So it's our job to investigate.
so there you go. That's why this little contingent of the Brotherhood is here, and why they remain here. How they got here without a vehicle, I not really. Or I suppose maybe they were flown up here by vertebrate. I'm not really sure, but oh boy, Raider scum. So take out the Raider scum first, because they're the most dangerous opponent, and more than likely, Dance will take out the rest, but I'll help him out. Oh, and thank you for reminding me, game. I've leveled up. I really should do something about that right now. So let's do that. So what do we have here? We are continuing on my my journey here. You know, we're about to run into... I know I was just doing damage with the rifle, but we're kind of getting into the territory now where I need to worry about the damage I'm doing with my weapons. And I've managed to avoid this thanks to the Fair Fight mod that I have installed, where I'm doing as much damage as the enemy is, where it's all even Steven here. We're all doing 2.5 normal damage in this mode. But we're about to get to the point where we start running into tougher enemies. I think it's a good time to take a little gunslinger. And of course, I realized, again, I'm using the rifle right now, but strictly speaking, I tend to...
It might surprise you to learn that my recon team isn't the first to visit the Commonwealth.
I tend to take the pistol mods first, or the auto mods if I'm playing that way.
The first team's mission was a huge success. They came back with crates full of pre-war artifacts and historical documents. The second wasn't so fortunate. Shortly after they arrived, we lost contact with them. They haven't been heard from since.
And I'm totally listening to you, Dance. I am totally listening to you. I am just a little distracted by looting.
Target from the moment we arrived. But despite our setbacks,
More dresses. Doki does right now. Alright, so here, for instance, I'm going to switch to the pistol. So why the pistol? Well, to me, it's again, the rifle does more damage by default, and it's sort of one-shot, one-kill. I tend to fire from stealth, so I tend to get the automatic critical. Whereas the pistol, I'm more likely to use it in open combat, in closed spaces where things are bum rushing me. That's where you need to put things down quickly. And of course, it has the advantage of VATS, so it has a lower VATS cost being a pistol. But also on this quest, I mean, let's be honest, this is a permadeath run, so I am not going to be running into combat against our opponents here all the time. I got a big guy in power armor here backing me up. And when I say backing me up, I mean I'm backing him up and he's taking the lead. And we're going to just leave that be. Hey, buddy. But here we go. We've got some bloat flies, so why not shoot at them? No, damn it. Out of all that, only one hit. I am highly disappointed. Well, I suppose I should have used more of my VATS. But we'll use it now. Ba-boom. Alright, did manage to tag me with his flying larvae, which is one of the most disgusting... I think you saw it if you were a quick eye there. One of the most disgusting projectiles in the game. But we're not done yet. There is more to come. There is, in fact, a pack of mongrel dogs up here at the top of the hill. And he pretty much wastes these guys. I mean, again, it's one of those things where I'm not terribly worried here. Oops. Almost hit Dance there. That's why I don't have to be really careful in that particular combat. What does it get me? Well, it gets me a large supply of mongrel dog meat, which is really what we wanted in the first place. And I believe there's more up here. But yeah, you see, he wails on these guys. Just takes them out straight up. And poor fellow ate an oven mitt. And they were killing a rad stag and chawing down on it, so that's, you know, bonus. I just loaded up. You definitely, it definitely pays to be a carnivore in this game. It's hard to be a vegetarian. You can make, as I realized the other day when I said, hey, you can cook meat and it takes away the rads. It's actually completely true of all the food. It's just raw food bad, cooked food safe. Which I guess is a good lesson for kids. Cook your food. I'm not a raw food movement guy, but it just seems a little wonky. It's like, does radiation go away that way? I don't think it does. I don't think that's how radiation works. But okay. Look, an office desk fan. I'm just collecting scrap so I can build more stuff, sir. Well, okay. Until we walk 20 feet over here.
Come on. This way.
Alright, I have to wait for Paladin Dance's dialogue to trigger.
Listen up. We do this clean and quiet. No heroics and by the book. Understood?
Understood.
Outstanding. Remember, our primary target is the deep-range transmitter. Stay focused and check your fire. I don't want to be hit by stray bullets.
I don't know what our protagonist's rank was in the military. I just, but there's an option to say, hey, this isn't my first rodeo, and Dance gives you lip about it. But yeah, of course he would. He doesn't know you, so I assume that I know better than to say that.